Welcome back to a toy review. This one is a birthday one. Well, it was at the time. See, I recorded this video back in late January. In fact, here we go, look at that. It's January the 24th. In 9 minutes, it will be my birthday, the 25th of January. And earlier this week, I received a cheeky birthday present in the post from the wonderful Emma. If you're a watcher of my streams, you'll hear me reference Emma quite a lot. Earful of Emma. A gift note from your favourite from your favourite Tony Stan. Happy birthday, you beautiful man. Have some Iron Daddy for your shelf from your favourite Tony Stan. Thank you so much, Emma, you absolute queen. Yes, this is from a friend of mine and a huge Iron Man fan, specifically Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. This is the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga collection. We've had a few of these before. Quicksilver, Infinity War Captain America, Endgame Thor. So we had the box sets like Captain Marvel and the Rescue Pepper Potts, and we've had Thanos and Iron Man before, but this is based on, and I'm really excited about this, the very first MCU movie, 2008's Iron Man. The bio reads, Tony Stark takes on the world's worst villains in the Mark III suit, a technological wonder equipped with a variety of stunning enhancements and upgrades. Like the rest of the Infinity Saga themed Marvel Legends figures, it says the Marvel Studios Infinity Saga logo on the sides. It's got the relevant movie logo on the top. So here we have Iron Man. Iron Man Mark III. It's a nice chunky box. Lovely display window, so if you did want to buy this collection and just display them on the wall, you absolutely could. This is not the only figure based on the first Iron Man movie that's been released as part of the Infinity Saga collection. There is also a giant 2-pack, the most expensive pack in the Infinity Saga releases so far, featuring Jeff Bridges' Obadiah Stane and the Ironmonger armour, which is like a good sort of clear 5 or 6 inches taller than this box. It's huge. But there he is, the window display. The Mark III armour, nice and chunky. We have alternate head, the helmet head, alternate hands, and a missing elbow plate here, because there it is and can be switched out with the short range of missiles or the big bugger that's there. So that's quite cool. It's an Iron Man whose weapons are all minimal compared to some of the later ones. So as the later ones have come with like ray beams and whatnot, because you know, unibeams and blasts coming out of his hands. This one, stuff that comes out of his elbow. Ooh, how quaint. Let's get him open and have a look at the Infinity Saga 2008 Iron Man Mark III. Look at these Iron Boys! For comparison's sake, I wanted to bring in the Mark armour from Endgame, so the most recent armour, and obviously, spoilers for the MCU, his final armour, because it sort of shows a few key differences that Hasbro have made sure to stick to for their first stab, I believe. This is their very first stab, or at least first proper stab, at a 2008 Iron Man figure. You'll notice that 2008 Tony towers above 2019 Tony. In terms of film release, not when the films are set. And that'll be because this is a chunky armour. It's a big chunky piece. Like he's got a... You know, the waist's a little bit bigger, not by much, but like the shoulders are broader, the arms are a tiny bit thicker, and that's because obviously that first film does a really good job at setting up how the armour is this huge thing that he needs Jarvis and all of his machines to get on him. Whereas by this movie, it's his second take on like a nanobot armour, a nanotech suit that just forms around him. So it would be a little bit more form-fitting, it would be a little bit more lithe, and obviously it means that the boots wouldn't be anywhere near as thick because they are just condensed, you know, jet boot technology in the bottom, whereas in this one, like, the legs are basically the rockets. So already, what a great idea. I wanted as well to very briefly sort of compare the head sculpts of the Iron Man armour itself, because obviously the armour goes through many changes over the course of the films. Come on, focus on it, you bugger. No! Focus on Iron Man! Thank you. So that's how it looks in Endgame. And we're sort of used to the general shape of it, but that shape was cemented by the 2008 movie. So it's really cool to sort of see that original helmet design in the flesh. There's some nice details too, like the black rivets inside the cheek gap, the slight golden outline above the black one of the mouth, just to give it more of a mouth feel. Pure white lenses inside. Some really nice detail on the red dome too. There is a version of this head, sort of, on one of them I already own, which is the Mark V armour based on Avengers, which was a 80th anniversary wave, 80th anniversary of Marvel wave figure. I can't get him down because he's in a stand further up the shelf, flying. But yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to put these two side by side for a moment to compare them before we get stuck into the Iron Boy. So, Iron Man 2008. Articulation. His ankles do the back and forth. Look at that lovely little detail, like the buttons and the gears further down. It's not an articulated foot, but the hinge is detailed. And his ankle can swivel side to side ever so slightly. It's hampered, of course, by the sculpt. He has a double knee joint, which actually allows for a really, if I can get the camera to stop doing that, a really decent bend. Look at that. That's amazing. And because of the sculpture of the armour, it doesn't look too weird when you're posing him. So you've got him kneeing Obadiah Stane right in the ghoulies, so you could do that. So that's nice. Some of Hasbro's later hinge pin pegless technologies going on, like there's no peg hole here in the side, but there is one in the upper thigh because there is a circle like that on the armour in the film, so they've obviously just gone, sod it, we could have the peg in there. Gives it a bit of level. It makes a lot of this stuff going on inside the armour. Again, the red and gold on the legs is fantastic. The colour clash is beautiful. Ooh, cheeky little golden thighs there. Complete with these little grey spots every now and again. Thighs swivel at the top. Actually have a decent range of movement, considering they're sculpted. The crotch moves outwards and is a little hampered. I read a few reviews of this figure when I added him to my Amazon wishlist that suggested you're not able to do sort of like the iconic pose from the movie, the whole him knelt down, one knee down, one fist in the ground, Your Honour. So I imagine that's the legs are a big part of that, but that's fine. I'm probably going to have him displayed stood up. No waist swivel, but there is a rib crunch. That means you can sort of match up the gold there. It always seems to be slightly on the wonk, but it's not too bad. Again, the gold detailing on the back. This figure came with a lot of glue. You see these little wisps, these little grey wisps. He had a lot of glue on him, which I found rather odd. The whole armour has quite a shiny plastic finish. Here you've got his arc reactor. There is a tiny, you see it toward the bottom, tiny bit of speckled blue paint outside the ring of blue on the red, just to sort of emphasise the idea of it being light bleeding out. I've seen versions of this in the wild, like on sale in HMV, where that has gone horribly wrong and it just looks like he's got a lot of cocaine on his chest. So it's nice to see that this one didn't end up with that issue. The little black rivets at the top of the chest there. The arms, this is an unusual one. So this piece is not part of the arm sculpt, and I think that's a huge missed opportunity because I think this is where a lot of the glue's coming from. It's a separate piece that sort of sits like this. They're both quite rubbery, so they don't hamper the movement too much, but obviously the more you're going to bring his arms forward, the more you're going to wear out the thing there at the shoulder. So I kind of wish they just made it part of his arms, because that's a bit annoying. That, like, it gives you some movement, but that is eventually going to wear out inside, you know? Got to be careful. He also goes out like that, swivels at the upper arm above the bicep. He has a double elbow joint with no peg holes. It gives a decent range of movement. So if he were the kind of character to talk to a communicator, you could. He isn't though, never mind. His wrists do have articulation. They swivel round, but they also apparently, oh, there we go, have a pivot to flex in and out. Bit stiff on this figure, but you can see it there. Downside to that is, as you can see from this wrist, there's not really much room for him to do that. So, doesn't really matter all in all. He comes with a second pair of hands that do not have a joint in them, because they are, oh, come on Tony, they are repulsor ray sort of blasting hands, and the first of their kind that I can think of in the Marvel Legends wave for MCU Iron Man that don't have a hole in them, and the figure does not come with repulsor ray blasts, because every other one always comes with the hand with the hole in, as you can see there, and a repulsor ray accessory. So this one is purely for that light up display styly glowing hand. It might be compatible with other Iron Man figures, so if you wanted to switch it out you can, but keep in mind of course that it has the flaps on it that only the earlier Iron Man armours come with. Excuse me, hiccups. So yes, hands wise, those accessories got fist and splayed hand, one of each. Head articulation. His head is on a peg that has a ball joint up the top and a ball joint up the bottom in the neck. The neck, which again very detailed with the black and grey technological parts around the side. The downside to this joint is I tried to change his head over, because whenever I unbox these things I always give them a little once over and switch their accessories around usually. When I pulled this head off, it pulled the neck joint out with it. And that's no good, because you can't then pull the neck joint out of his head easily. To get his spare head on, you would need to pop the head off the top ball and the rest of it still be in the neck. So that is a bit annoying. This figure is age 4 and up. It should not be complicated enough that you have to superheat the plastic to do a head swap. So I'm very annoyed about that. Because I like the opportunity to display him with this armour, with his full armour head. But I'm not going to be able to do that unless I run a sink, you know, full of boiling hot water almost. Not boiling, but you know, scalding hot water. Dip his head in for a bit, take it out, pop that bad boy off, pop this bad boy on, and then put him in some cold water or let him cool down. It's a toy for ages 4 and up. Like, I shouldn't have to go through that level. So that's a really bad sculpting decision, and considering the posability of the head, which is quite nice, it's poses you could easily achieve with it being a standard joint in the neck with one ball on a peg. So I'm not quite sure why they've gone for this option. All the same, his secondary head sculpt, the one that he comes with in box, is Tony in the suit. Is the Downey Jr. likeness good? You tell me. I can't really deduce it from this. Like, that's his side profile, but like, it's like his face is really squished in. I mean, it is. It's like it's sort of pressed up against the armour. But I don't know. I think I'd have to go back and watch the original to double check and see if like this is how it looks when his helmet pops up. The helmet's nice because it literally looks like the physical pieces have slid up to match where they need to be. A little bit of bleed over there of the plastic melting, but you're not going to be really seeing that from head on. Head, very good. Whether it's a decent likeness, the paint's fantastic. Look at the eyes. The paint on the eyes is phenomenal. The moustache is nice and neat. I'm quite lucky. Obviously, this was purchased online by Emma, but the quality control here has been good because it's been sketchy on some other figures recently. So, like, I'm very grateful for this. Again, whether the likeness is bobbing or not doesn't matter, because you look at that and you go, "Oh shoot, that's Iron Man from the first Iron Man." So I think it's a very, very good looking figure. Overall, I'm very pleased with how he looks. Let's take a look at his key accessories, which are. See, this elbow and forearm rather is shaped like that, with sort of a rounded off rectangle at the top. On this arm, he got nout, because on this arm, Tony comes with a couple of options. I can't remember the specific role of the weapons in the movie. Again, I'll have to revisit it. But if you use the rounded off rectangle shape as a guide, there it is in the middle again. There's a little peg. So you would, he says, doing it with the hand he doesn't write with, put it in position there. There's one. That's pretty good. Splayed open, the missiles, two little missiles, guided missiles in the centre, and it looks like the wrist compartment of the armour has come apart to reveal this. So that's very, very cool. Just wiggle that gently out. These accessories all appear to be made from a slightly rubbery plastic, the same as the shoulders. So do take care of them. But again, nice detail with the different paints. There is this one, again, using the rounded off rectangle as a guide. This one seems to be maybe a missile deployment or something. Again, I'll have to rewatch it to find out. Very unusual shape at the end there, but what have you. So line up the peg with that one, maybe, he says. Again, doing it with his left hand. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that sits there on the wrist. Oh, maybe that's meant to go under the flap of the wrist, possibly. So it's more about lining that up so that it's disguised by the... No. I don't want to force it if I don't have to, Your Honour. There we go. I don't know. Is that right? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I've got that horribly wrong. But last and certainly not least is the standard wrist bit. If you didn't want to display him with any of his missiles, you can just pop that bad boy on. And it means his arms look almost the same, but there is a slight, lip there. There's the giveaway that that's the interchangeable accessory. I've gone on for quite a while about this, but I feel like it deserved it, because though it may have its misgivings as a figure, I tend to display my Marvel Legends. That's their fate. That's my plan for them. They will be displayed on a shelf looking beautiful from now until the end of time or the bailiffs come. And as far as like a display piece goes, this is a great figure. He's really, really good. And I'm so chuffed to finally have a Tony toy that is paying sort of dividends to the legacy of the MCU. This is a toy based on the first movie in the MCU. Like chronologically, based on releases that have happened since, chronologically the earliest figure I've got in terms of the order of the movies coming out, not the order of the toys coming out, are the Red Skull, Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers in his proto Captain America suit, because those came out as releases over the last few years. So it's cool to finally have one from the first film in terms of chronological order of release. He looks amazing. Emma, if you're watching, thank you so very much. This Tony is going to do us proud, sat on the shelf. Do you guys like it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if, like Emma, you want to fund these toy reviews, or get me a belated birthday present. By the time you see this, it'll be nearly a month later. Or maybe it's over a month later. I can't remember my schedule. You can go to the link below in the description of my Amazon wishlist or the PayPal donation link and let me know what it is you want to buy and put a shout out towards so I can let people know it's you. You're of course under no obligation to do so. You can support me a different way by simply giving this video a thumbs up or a high five like Tony's trying to give to the camera. I will love you and leave you. Thank you all so very much, and I'll catch you soon.